The Chicago Sky dropped a bombshell announcement that has the entire WNBA world talking. For the first time in franchise history, they're relocating two specific home games to the legendary United Center, the largest basketball arena in the country. Reese publicly questioned why only Clark's games warranted the venue upgrade. The announcement specified that only the two games against the Indiana Fever would move from the modest 10,000-seat Wintrust Arena to the prestigious United Center, which seats nearly 21,000 fans. Sky president Adam Fox framed the decision as rewarding fans' passion and dedication by bringing this excitement to an expanded capacity. But the timing raised eyebrows. Why now, and why only these specific games? This wasn't just any venue change. The United Center hosts the legendary Chicago Bulls and has never before hosted a WNBA game. Moving from Wintrust to the United Center more than doubles the available seating, representing a potential windfall of approximately $4 million in additional revenue from just two games. The financial implications were impossible to ignore, especially for a league historically struggling with profitability. This wasn't just any venue change. The United Center hosts the legendary Chicago Bulls and has never before hosted a WNBA game. Moving from Wintrust to the United Center more than doubles the available seating, representing a potential windfall of approximately $4 million in additional revenue from just two games. The financial implications were impossible to ignore, especially for a league historically struggling with profitability. Angel Reese's public reaction. Angel Reese, the Sky's star rookie from the previous season, didn't hide her frustration. In a pointed comment to reporters, she seemed baffled by the organization's decision. As of right now, no other Chicago Sky games have been moved to the United Center, except for the Indiana Fever games. The subtext was clear. Reese believed she deserved the same star treatment as Clark. Even more telling, Angels games averaged around 9,000 fans last season, about half of the Indiana Fever's average. The WNBA experienced a twofold increase in attendance specifically when Clark was playing, while the Fever averaged 36% more fans on the road than any other team in the entire league. A league-wide transformation. The Chicago Sky aren't alone in recognizing the Clark effect. This venue change is part of a much larger pattern sweeping across the WNBA. The Washington Mystics relocated their Fever matchups to Baltimore's CFG Bank Arena, with its nearly 15,000 seats. The Connecticut Sun abandoned their traditional home court for the iconic TD Garden in Boston. The Las Vegas Aces and Atlanta Dream made similar moves. What seemed like an isolated business decision by the Sky quickly revealed itself as part of a league-wide transformation centered around one player's drawing power. WNBA executives have even acknowledged that more than a quarter of revenue last year could be attributed directly to Caitlin Clark. That's not just star power, that's league-altering, venue-changing influence. The business reality behind the decision. Basketball franchises are ultimately businesses, and businesses follow money. The decision to move only Clark's games to larger venues isn't about favoritism. It's about simple economics. When one player consistently draws thousands more people than another, venue decisions become painfully straightforward. The United Center games represent an additional $4 million in revenue compared to staying at Wintrust. That's not pocket change for a league that has historically struggled with profitability. When league executives look at these numbers, they're not seeing a passing trend. They're witnessing a sustainable business opportunity. It's worth noting that Caitlin Clark actually predicted this venue revolution nearly a year ago. After one of her games, she casually mentioned, "I'm surprised we're not playing at the United Center. I thought that would have been really good for the game, and really good for all the women's basketball fans in Chicago." No complaints, no demands, just a straightforward observation about what might benefit women's basketball as a whole. Fast forward, and her innocent suggestion has manifested into reality across multiple cities. Fan reactions and social media divide. Fan reactions to these venue changes have been predictably divided. Clark supporters point to the undeniable economics, while Reese defenders cry favoritism. One viral tweet captured the debate perfectly. Funny how they never moved Angels games to bigger arenas when she was breaking records, but the minute Clark comes to town, suddenly they need 20,000 seats. The tweet conveniently ignored the fact that ticket demand, not record breaking, drives these business decisions. Perhaps the most telling fan interaction came from a Chicago local who wrote, "I've been a Sky fan for years but couldn't get tickets to the Fever games last season. Now, with the United Center, I finally can. How is giving more fans access to women's basketball a bad thing? The bigger picture. What we're witnessing isn't personal against Angel Reese, it's just business. The economics of women's basketball are finally aligning with what fans have been voting for with their wallets and attention. While Angel continues to position herself as an equal draw, Caitlin simply lets her game speak for itself. Basketball experts are now suggesting what many fans already believe. Angel would be better served embracing the competitive nature of the league and focusing on elevating her game rather than making comparisons. The question isn't whether people watch for Angel too, but whether she'll use this moment as motivation to improve rather than fuel for complaints. The venue change controversy highlights a fascinating period of growth for women's basketball. While stars like Angel Reese have definitely contributed to the game's rising popularity, the undeniable Clark effect has created an economic opportunity the league simply can't ignore. As the WNBA continues to evolve, the question becomes whether its players will embrace these changes as opportunities or view them as threats. What do you think about these venue changes? Is the Chicago Sky making the right business decision, or should they have moved more games to accommodate fans? The economic impact of star power in sports is nothing new, but in the rapidly growing WNBA, it's creating a fascinating dynamic that could reshape the league for years to come.